Hey there, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us, and welcome to Firing Range, a podcast to talk about all things Destiny, weapons, abilities, loadouts, and the sandbox at large. How the hell are you? Cool guy. Good to have you here, buddy.
Oh yeah, feels good, man. Feels good.
He's back in the saddle. Everything going smooth with the, you're a Texas man now, dude.
I know, man. Coming back home. I love it here. It's been hot, but that's all right.
Texas hot? Are you sure?
Just a little bit.
I didn't hear that, bro.
Just a little bit.
Oh. Unfortunately, no Drew here tonight, but we have him represented by a traffic cone in the OBS overlay. He's doing things. We'll get him next time. There's a lot going on. We were originally going to record a show live last week, and then we thought, hey, how about instead of doing that, maybe we don't do that, because there is a large patch coming for the sandbox, which I think we've had our hands on for one full day now. So I think we thought it would be best to just maybe wait, push the show back a little bit so we actually have something substantial to go over. And we definitely do. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. Pretty much the main two core weapon types of D2 for the past, God, I don't even know how long. Hand cannons and shotguns have gone through kind of hardcore fundamental changes. Maybe shotguns more changed overall, whereas hand cannons, only a particular type was changed. We got a lot to go into, but like at a 30,000 foot view, how do you guys feel about it?
It's nice. It's really fun to see a Fellwinter's hunter run up to me and pull the trigger and leave me with half health and get cleaned up with a fusion. I haven't been able to experience that in a very, very long time in the Destiny PvP sandbox. So gotta say I'm enjoying that for right now.
Definitely is an interesting feeling. Cammy, what about you?
I've been using duality more than anything else, so it feels good. I do feel like I get the most out of the slug option when I need it, and then pellet when I don't.
Using pellet, when do you decide that you want to go pellet over slug? Probably when they're slug like really close that you can smell their breath.
Yeah, it's more like dealing with the second person that's jumping on me. Like I have to whip 180 and just pull the trigger without even looking. That's
Right,
where the
right.
pellet comes in clutch. Otherwise, it's just shoot hand cannon, clean up with pellet.
That sounds about right. Cool guy, what about you?
Love it. I love the changes that they did to 120s and shotguns. I think it opens up more of the sandbox. And honestly, a lot of the weapons are playing as they were designed. Like I think sidearms are really good, fusions are really good. Outside the range of 120, like you can use the 150 scouts again, Jade and Polaris. You can use 390 pulses, the aggressive 4-burst pulse. Like seriously, I was at Mohawk on Bannerfall with Jade. Couldn't touch me. Nobody could touch me. There's nothing that could touch me. You'd have to come from the side. And when I saw that on the rotation, I just went to that box in the corner of my spawn side. Couldn't do anything about me. And like that's kind of how it should be, really, because those 120s took the place of every single one of those weapons. So I think it's in a great spot, and I'm still experimenting and playing with things I haven't played with in like a couple years, man.
Like what?
So, mostly melee builds. You like
Yeah.
even with before Beyond Light. Pre-Fellwinter even. I mean, that 10 meters and in, it's so hot, dude. It's such a hot zone. But like, especially like then Stasis came out. But I mean, I'm getting back to melee builds, having a great time. That's combination blow top tree strider, that synthesis, this bottom tree striker knockout, the melee Ophidian, dude. Like I'm having an absolute blast playing with those builds. Because seriously,
he's right.
I
been
haven't
years.
used those since double primary, dude. Because once double primary was changed, you started seeing some special weapons. You could kind of do it, but as the game went on and the guns got better, you couldn't. So I'm having personally a blast with it. So
Good to hear. I was kind of wondering how people would react at large because again, hand cannons and shotguns wildly popular in D2. I mean, like not only in terms of like usage, I feel like people really, I don't know, they feel it's an odd thing. They feel very strongly about it. You know what I mean? It's like having a favorite TV show or something like that. Like people like really love, like, don't touch my hand cannon. But I think the most people who I've talked to overall feel kind of good about the changes so far. Anyway, we haven't had a weekend of, trials yet or whatever. But of course, we all know there's more to PvP than trials. But let's go in. Why don't we go in a little bit more detailed in terms of each specific change to each whatever archetype here. Starting with hand cannons. I'm whipping out the old bingo patch notes here. Do you guys have a link as well? You can take
I know
a
them by
gander
heart.
at.
It's okay.
You know them by heart.
I mean, I know them by heart too at this point. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, we got the aggressive, the 120 RPM hand cannon changes. We got the reduced precision damage multiplier from 1.8 to 1.6. Right, there you go. No more 2-tapping with Rampage level 1. And we got the reduced aim assist minimum fall off range and the reduced damage minimum fall off distance. That's a lot of jargon, but let's pump it through the translation machine there and just boil it down to how do you guys feel about 120 RPM hand cannons right now? Have you used many, and do they feel as good to you? Do they still feel viable? Are they garbage? Where do you stand on the overall scale?
I'm gonna simplify it for folks at home. They used to do 90 damage, now they do 80 damage, now subtract a meter or two on their damage drop off. And that's the nerf.
Good translation.
So good. I mean, I've seen people use them very effectively. The difference is really that a lot of weapons got buffed by proxy with 120s coming down. 140 hand cannons got stronger because the range difference between the two is now a lot more narrow. But the difference between the two is 140s still require you to hit all their crits. 120s don't. So now the difference is less like you can use a 120 to counter sniper rifles and scout rifles, and more like a 120 is a slightly more forgiving 140 with a slower rate of fire to make up for the fact that it's more forgiving, which I think is a better balance struck between those two. I'm seeing good players switch over from the world beater steady hand to things like Ace of Spades and Palindrome, because now they can get a slightly faster time to kill and almost the same range out of it, which I like. And Cool Guy mentioned it, but Scout Rifles got a huge buff by proxy with this. I ran into an Unbroken today doing work with Jade Rabbit, which is something I never would have seen in a million years in the previous thing. And of course, I'm a huge fan of symmetry of DMT and stuff like that, even with the nerf that DMT got. I was having a blast with symmetry. I felt my messenger was in a more competitive place in the sandbox. I think this was a really, really good change.
Yeah, I don't know about y'all. I went in because, of course, we get the change. We want to feel out that change right away. So I took my trusty, maybe my favorite 120 RPM. I got like a couple ones that I really enjoy. Went into PvP, tried to use it. It didn't feel like trash, but I definitely felt the change immediately. It didn't feel as sticky, like it didn't feel as maybe easy to use. Still viable though. There were people out there, the diehards, still trying to make them work, and you definitely can, depending on the game type of the map. But it's one of those things where, like, you use a weapon a lot, you develop that internal muscle memory, and then when you try to go back and do it again, you're like, something feels a little different here. So I don't know how much I'm going to use them over the weekend when we got trials back on the field, but would we agree still viable? Thumbs up on viability overall.
You mind if I break them down real quick?
Do it, baby.
So I'm actually currently working. My video tomorrow is going to be on this, so please watch my video Fallout. Even though I'm going to tell you something. I mean, there's a lot more in it.
You don't got to tell me, my man.
But check this out. What I did is I took the lowest base range 120 in the game, which is Loud Lullaby, and hello again, Loud Lullaby. It has 58 base range. I took a medium roll that has 78 range, and then I took the max Igneous with 100 range. So how those ranges work? The 58 starts hitting fall off at 31.5 meters. Then it, like, for 3 meters, it has fall off for its max 3-tap distance. So its max 3-tap distance is 34.5. Well, that 78 roll starts having fallout at 34.5. It goes 3 meters to 37.5. The 100 range one goes 37.5, fall off to about 39.5, 40. But the thing to remember, it's like the 100 range can 3-tap at 40 meters, but that's doing like 64 per crit, and you have to hit all those headshots. And within the patch notes, they said the max range rolls 1 to 2 meters, they nerf the aim assist. So at that range, yeah, you can 3-tap, but what they did is they took away your accuracy. They took away like actually landing those crits. And remember, those are 1 second TTK. So like the literal moment you miss a shot, it's a 1.5 TTK.
Oof.
Like everything in the game beats that. Every pulse beats that
Yeah.
with like missing crazy shots. Scouts beat that, missing crazy shots. So I think that they're still very good. It's still high chunk damage. It's 80 per headshot, dude. Like that's still really, really, really strong. But what they did is they're not pocket scouts that do rapid fire body damage, like sniper body damage to the head. I got up to Rampage ×3 that does 97. You can 2-tap at that point. Like good luck doing that. The regular kill clip with Loud Lullaby will 2-tap. Does 94 per head for multi-kill clip. You cannot 2-tap.
Yeah.
But what that did, like that range, 31.5 to 39.5. The max range palindrome, well, not even max range, like a rangefinder palindrome with like ricochet, hits at 37 meters. Like the palindrome's right there. The palindrome goes to 38.5 for its 3-tap distance. So, like, I played against a guy today that was running Eye of Soul Igneous Hammer. It was like he was at the top of like Crow's Nest on Widow's Court, and I was in the field by the planter. He body shot me 2 times with that Igneous Hammer, didn't kill me because of fall off. Like they're extremely brought in, but that opens up the back end for so many weapons in the game, dude. I love it. I absolutely love it.
But you still think that people who put in the work and maybe have a dope roll and they use them properly, like they can use them well. 120 RPM hand cannons. Like it's not
absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
They're still. I mean, it's still a 1 head 2 body, right? It'll never be a 1 head 2 body, or it's a 2 head 1 body. It'll never be a 1 head. It'll never be a 1 head 2 body again. But they're still forgiving. They still do huge chunk damage. So in a team shot situation, like in trials, you come around a corner and your buddy's using anything else, you know, you're gonna melt the guy. So I mean, I still think that they're good, just not potent, which they were very potent.
I'll see if I can summarize it. I just dropped a video on this subject. So 10-second summary is you used to be able to just throw them on any build and it would be an obvious choice. Now you have to build around the hand cannon. So your empowering rifts, your charge with light, your teammates Lumina, that kind of thing. That is what makes those that extra lethal. And now there's a resilience gate that people can survive. It's 6 resilience and they survive the empowering rift 2-tap.
It used to be that the 120 was the best for every option, every build, every composition for teams, and it no longer is. It's now the best for some, like Cami mentioned, the charger light, stuff like that. It's now the best for some, and it's the best for players who like hand cannons but may not be as sure with their accuracy, right? Like they may not be the type of person who's like, I'm gonna run out and 3-tap a palindrome. Like they may not be confident in that. In which case, the trade-off for TTK of a little over 1/10 of a second slower TTK is probably worth it for them to have to hit 33% less headshots to get that optimal, right? So now I don't know that 120s are probably the best for like your typical high skill, high accuracy hand cannon user. At this point in time, it may be worthwhile, especially on like console, to use like Ace of Spades or something, or a max range palindrome. Like that faster TTK, if you're confident you can hit your 3 crits, like maybe that's worth it now because the 120 is not the guaranteed answer for everything.
The range is so close between the high end 140 and low end 120 that I almost just want to go 140.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I think that that's a really good thing. But like the Desperado kill clip messenger is about to be like extremely hated. Like secondarily, I think that the fast firing, like the grid skipper, you're about to see a lot of that too. Because like I said, when I was in the back of Mohawk on Bannerfall with Jade Rabbit, nothing could touch me, dude. Like any 120, what are they gonna do? Like I tried it. As a matter of fact, I was slaying out. I switched to a 120 and then hit a guy at Mohawk. I did like 27 to the head. Like I was getting closer. It did 40. Like you can't do anything about it. It's like it really opens up that long game, which I appreciate that happened. I really do, because the 120, man, you had so much, I wouldn't say leeway or cushion. Well, yeah, I guess it's cushion. I mean, you could start your engagements way further than you should be able to and get good damage. Because not only, like, the biggest thing is not only did they bring in the range, but the damage reduction with the range reduction coexist. Before, there was a little over 20 damage to play with before you start getting into your 3-tap distance. Now it's a little over 10, right? So they brought in that damage number, brought in the range. They're not hitting it. You can't get 3 taps at 45, 46 meters anymore. And you're having accuracy issues now at that distance. So I think it was a good change, like once you really look into it.
So two things here. Accuracy issue to make it harder to shoot, and then the fact that range is so important to take advantage of these damage boosters and hit your 96 damage or whatever you're supposed to get, that you stack all the perks into range, which means you have to give up something else like stability. So now you have less aim assist, less stability. If you even get slightly flinched, you lose the duel. There is no coming out of it like pre-patch.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but usually when there's a big shakeup on the horizon, I try to plan, or I try to maybe train, is that the right word? Like in advance, like I'm going into PvP, so pre-patch, and playing with other options to be like, let's get a little practice in, right? Because when Tuesday comes, things are going to be different. So let me practice in advance. So I've been rocking Ace. That gun
awesome.
slaps, dude. Yeah,
it was
awesome. It was already really dope pre-patch. I mean, you're fighting with the big jacked up brothers, you know, but like now they're all big brother, you know, got a little bit of a nerf, and Ace do be clapping. Like I was really, really enjoying that in PvP the other day. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I see it in chat, and like I was actually going to ask this question to you guys, like once we were kind of wrapping up with the 120s, because I mean it's the same thing that I kind of came to, the same conclusion. It's here in chat that, you know, these 120s, and I'll say it here, I feel like the 120s are going to be easier for lower skill players, and the top players are going to start using 140s. Because the issue before with the 120s is that high skill players will destroy you with them, with the range, their movement, their peaking ability, then the 2-tap ability. Like they will run a lobby with it. But
yeah,
now
it's not just the gun in isolation. It's like ability plus 90 damage plus special weapon.
Exactly. So now it's doing 80 damage. So that's kind of what I came up to. Like the lower skill players, there's that cushion that you can still, you know, have body damage within your TTK. And the higher skill players are going to get up into that 34 meters and in for most of your 140s and 3-tap you. And remember, because they all have like, you know, 100 aim assists, so it's not too hard to do. But yeah, that's kind of the conclusion that I came to with them. What do you guys think?
100%.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which is good, right? That's why I think we're not seeing a ton of salt about this change, right? Because it shook out a bunch of those 120 users, but the good ones, the ones who are most likely to complain, just like went right to 140s, and they're very, very comfortable with those 140s already. So, you know, it kind of like shook the branches a little bit and dropped a bunch of 120 users out.
Sure.
And most of them just went right to 140s, and they're like, cool, this is dope. Like I still get to use a hand cannon. They didn't nerf all hand cannons across the board. Like Cool Guy mentioned, some go to messengers and stuff, but that's great. You know why? It's a lot harder to peak shoot with a messenger. You got to stay grounded for the most part with a messenger, right? Like that's fine with me. It takes a lot more accuracy. It's a lot harder to use a messenger the way those like super high skill players like to use their guns. So that's fine. Like I look forward to a lot more players being planted on the ground and having to maintain these lanes during engagements, as opposed to pop behind a corner, jump out, stomp you over the air, you know, like all this other stuff that they get to do. So I look forward to it, man. I look forward to some unbrokens using scout rifles and pulse rifles for once.
You know that meme of Woody Harrelson in Zombieland, like wiping his tears away with like a stack full of $100 bills? Yeah, it's like, all right, man, I feel that the 120 RPM hand cannon nerf, probably not a lot of people happy about that, but like the top tier players in PvP, like wiping their tears away with like the God roll dire promise, like they're not going to be that shook up about it. They have a fallback plan.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be way more mad than I am on this type of thing, because 110s, not 120s, 110s were my favorite type of gun.
You actually did,
damage, long distance. Yeah, I use those in year 1. I use those in Forsaken. I use those as 120s. I kind of wish I could get 110s back, but like a heavily nerfed version. Like 4 bullets in the mag, longer range or shorter range, but with 90 damage.
In ill will,
something like that.
D1.
Yeah, basically ill will.
The old ill will.
Final round and luck in the chamber.
You know the thing that pushed me off of those? It was the whale hand cannon. that had
Future
quick
War
draw, the final round, and lucky round or something like that?
No, there was a green called the Maverick. Could have luck in the
Mhm.
chamber, and I think
4
with
bullets.
Brace, you could have a 4-round magazine.
So you
like
fire one round
That
right at
is
the start, and
literally
you just
awful, dude.
Get
4
guaranteed
round
3-tap.
magazine with like luck in
Yep.
the chambers.
Oh, dude, you just load up on
It's
all your
so
loaders,
bad,
man.
And then
dude.
they
It
added
was-
this
it was
sound
so
to luck in the
bad.
chamber, so you could hear
Yeah.
it when it went off. So you'd like icebreaker somebody, shoot them with the hand cannon, and clean up. If you didn't hear the lucky sound, you did the quick math. You're like, someone's getting 2 tapped.
Quick math. Yeah. God damn it. All right, let's move on to shotguns real quick. I got the changes here as well. Big change in the shotgun department. We have the ag frame shotty, aka the Fellwinter Astral Horizon, getting that wider cone angle from 4.0 to 4.25. We got the reduced shotgun damage fall off min by 2 meters and the increased shotgun damage fall off max by 2 meters. Bungie's goal there, trying to make the one hit kill, bring in that range required for a one hit kill, usually happening pretty deep with guns like the Fellwinter, and maybe being a little bit more generous with the range for a potential 2-tap. What do you guys feel about those shotgun changes?
Love them.
huge. This is probably
Love
the
them.
worst shotguns I've ever been in Destiny. Like across both games.
It might be.
Yeah.
It really might be.
In terms of one hit kill range, I think it is. And like
It's
they're like,
bad.
oh well, we're gonna push out the 2-hit kill range. Like anyone on God's Green Earth is 2-hit killing with the Fellwinters or any of the high impacts with that slow ass rate of fire with a full second between shots. Right? Like
Oh.
I love the way they phrased it where they're like, we wanted to make it like require a little bit more skill to get within 1-hit kill range. And like my thing is like, yeah, you know that movement skill gap that all you stompy hunters talk about loving so much? Like use that movement skill gap that you claim to have and close an extra 2 meters on me with your Fellwinters. Like please.
Oh boy.
I beg of you. Like that's I'm loving it so much. I just love seeing someone pull a Fellwinters out and map me from 8 meters away and leave me with like, you know, just barely tickle my shields. And I'm like, oh, that's a mistake.
Dude,
I've
it's literally-
I've got the Bastion right here.
Do you guys watch? I make a lot of fucking pop culture references. Major League. Come on,
Yeah.
you guys see Major League? Yeah. Willie Mays Hayes, aka the great Wesley Snipes, trying to steal like what, second base, and he's like he tries to slide into it. He's like 5 feet short. The second baseman's like, come on, a little closer. It's like the range is much shorter than you think it is now. Like I was testing it day one, because of course I was, and you could immediately feel the change, especially on the ag frame, even like for a weapon like Fellwinter, which I didn't think would get affected by it that much. That wider cone, like you really feel it. Like I kept getting closer and closer and closer. We kind of figured that in order to feel comfortable with like a fairly consistent one hit kill range, it's 6 meters, dude. 6 meters on the Fellwinter. That's like insane.
It's great.
It's
great.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit to get used to. But
So-
it's the closest it's ever been, man. It's crazy.
I don't think so. Like I think that the slugs are in their own league. All of them. That goes for
Slugs are good, yeah.
legendaries.
Mhm.
That's legendaries as well. But as far as the other frames, like I've been using them. I don't think that there's a definitive winner because you can make them all work, dude.
You can
Like
make them all work, yeah.
Like the ag frames, technically, if you're lucky, you roll that machine. Yeah, you're gonna get the 7.5, right?
Yeah, you can get it depending on your pellet RNG and depending on how good your shoddy roll is. Yeah, you can definitely get a 7-ish meter kill. Maybe if you're really lucky.
Yeah,
even,
so
like, close to
you
8.
you could use that type of shotgun to try to get those every now and again. I think that the precision frames are good. I think that the lightweights are good. I haven't really used the rapid, but like the Reese Walker or Wrist Walker, dude, I've been using this roll because I've been using my melee builds.
Mhm.
It's full choke, accurized rounds, range masterwork, slideways, or I think it's slide shot. Well, it's
I think
slideways.
it's slideways. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
slideways.
it's slideways swashbuckler.
Yeah.
So I've been using the shotgun melee with this thing, dude. Swashbuckler times 5 does 26 per pellet on that Reese Walker, dude, and it's amazing. And then I'm then I'm sliding around, refilling it back in, and I can hit a little bit further because I have the swashbuckler damage boost on it. Like it opens up so much, man. Like I love these changes, I really do.
I kind of think it's even though it hurts me because I love being a filthy, dirty little ape. I think it makes sense to have them behave that way because it puts more of an emphasis on primary weapon skill and maybe having to plan your gap closing a little bit better rather than just being able to. I always use the example of I'm becoming a man. The example of Drew when he got the full power shatter dive. He said something along the lines of like, I can run into a room and kind of like not care. Like he can be carefree about it because the OG shatter dive Drew combo was so powerful that like you didn't really have to think about it. And like shotguns at the height of their power, you could borderline close your eyes and run into a room and like, yeah, you'd be fine. Like
just clear it out.
Just clear it out. Just get Felwinter, clear it out.
No big deal.
Now you kind of have to work a little harder. I find myself getting shotgun kills in like one of two scenarios. One, you turn the corner, there's a dude so close to you, you can smell his breath, right? And just boom, you just pull the trigger. And that's where shotgun should work. And then the other is kind of like maybe mid-range, but you do a little bit of the tactic where you're like, okay, prime them with a hand cannon, hot swap into like, high handling shotgun, boom, you put them down at like just that right range, primer finisher combo. Something like that. And I like that now I'm actually thinking about using slug shotties more because there's that payoff that like if you're accurate, you can way outperform a Felwinter. Like Chaperone, you guys been using Chaperone? Like it's hot, dude. It's
always been hot, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
now it has more of a time to shine because like Felwinter could achieve close to the same result with pretty much no aiming. But,
it's like the Obi-Wan cloak, man. All the Spectral Blade hunters are coming back. Just put it up.
Yeah, it's like it's feeling really good, dude. Like you get that headshot, you're rewarded for actually being accurate with your gun.
I mean, Chris told us he was going to do something like what Cool Guy mentioned, right? Which is he was like, we want you to have these high rewards, but you need to either build for them or like spec for them. So what Cool Guy's saying, like you can still get these range kills with a shotgun, but like you better be speccing out that shotgun to do it, right? It's not just like every shotgun's killing at 7+ meters now. Like you have to really make it work. Like you have to have swashbuckler or opening shot or full choke. Like you have to have these things. And then secondarily, like this is good for the game. The real winners here are primary weapons. I've seen more sidearms, more SMGs in the last 10 games I played in the Crucible than I had probably seen in 100 games before that. Because now primary weapons that operate within that sub 15 meter distance finally have a time to shine. And just like with the 140 versus 120s, like now skilled players are like, I don't have to use this beat all option inside this distance. I have more choices. I can use a primary or I can use a chaperone. And now the distance between chaperone and Felwinters is so great. Like you are rewarded for aiming for the head. I mean, I've seen more dualities, same thing too. Like I think Cammy mentioned he was running duality earlier. Like I've seen people tearing lobbies up with duality. It seems like nobody's ready for it, even though it did get a teeny bit.
Yeah, on paper, duality looks terrible, but in practice, it's
good.
Amazing.
Yeah,
versatility for skilled players, man. Like not everyone's going to be able to just like put on duality and run a lobby. It does take some getting used to because it's not the best of either world. But the fact that you have the opportunity to do both is huge. So, I mean, I'm a little bit scared about some of the things that are going to come up once people actually start trying to win this weekend. Like, I'm a little bit concerned.
Can't wait, dude. Can't wait.
I think flying slug shotgun is going to be the thing. I think Stompy Hunter is going to upgrade to like a heritage and just fly in with the in-air accuracy headshots.
So that's something I've been playing with, dude. And just like I'll use that example of back Mohawk with Jade, dude. Like if you've played with shotguns, you're it's kind of your muscle memory to go in for that range, dude, and you're not killing people, right? Because it's essentially 7 meters in end, right? 6.5, 6. Like with sidearms, like if I see somebody come around the corner and I know that they're hauling it with a shotgun, like same thing with Jay, dude. Like when I have high jump on a Stompy Hunter with a sidearm, they cannot kill me. They have to come at me. And they're not.
You've inspired me. I want to use high jump.
They're not, dude. Like that's the thing. Like I've been using burst jump with the Warlock. I've been using high jump with the Titan. And seriously, I will just jump straight back. To like the ones that catch on, they will stop and pull out their primary. But I mean, if you have Icarus on your sidearm, you're landing. But seriously, they can't do anything about it. Like it's crazy. Like the more that you start like experimenting with things, you can do a lot of different things now. And I'm loving it. Like I said, I'm loving it.
No, don't get me wrong. I've seen all the shotgun testing footage, but in practice, I don't notice it. I still stick to my usual like raid boss DPS strats of primary clean up with shoddy, and it seems to work just the same.
Yep.
Yep.
I was really hoping that we would have Drew here today. Because
Lord of Wolves, the fallen
yes,
captain out here.
dude, I really wanted to talk to Drew about Lord of Wolves. Good news, we have a couple of qualified gentlemen here to talk about it, but I've seen Drew using it a lot. He was using it before Tuesday and putting in a lot of really good work with Lord of Wolves on controller, mind you. Drew's a controller player. And Reza. And now, like, the gun is even better. Has anyone here been using, or at least feel like they can talk about the Lord of Wolves in the change? Yeah,
I have not used it since the patch. I used it pre, and I was doing good with it. Lord of Wolves has actually always been in a pretty good spot. I think once people, when they nerfed Release the Wolves, I think people just stopped using it. Because it was pretty killer with that.
Pretty free.
But its base mode, with how it shoots, it's always been pretty good. And like I haven't seen the testing on that, or I haven't tested it.
Yeah.
But
Drew has and Kujay has.
Should perform pretty good.
Yeah. It's kind of like how, we always talk about what are the two things that make a weapon overused in PvP, right? Column 1, you have like efficiency and power. What is the optimal time to kill? Is it a really good time to kill, like super quick? People are going to use it. What's the other factor? Ease of use. How easy is a weapon to use? You put them both together. You got the PB and J, and that's why people were using Felwinter, because really excellent performance and super easy to use. So why use Lord of Wolves? Never lost the good factor, like on paper, in the hands of a skilled player. Incredible, because it can one burst from way downtown. But why would you use that when you have a gun that is so much more forgiving?
Same with Chaperone.
Yeah, you have much more forgiving playstyle with a weapon like the Felwinter. Now that Felwinter has been groin kicked in the overall good factor, it's like, oh well, why not look at things that are better on paper, like Lord of Wolves? So next time Drew is here, we'll have him talk about that. But if you're listening to the show right now, check out his video on YouTube. I think he has a whole video talking about the rise of the Lord of Wolves, which I think a lot of people are going to begin to see a little bit more and more. I'm kind of interested. And
fusions are good too, dude.
They are.
Yeah.
Merc, Bastion feeling okay there?
Yeah, Bastion's gonna get some. This is what I'm concerned about seeing this weekend in trials. Like, it would not surprise me at all if the Bastion numbers basically like went through the roof. Like, Bastion
it could really be number one.
They might,
It's laughable. I'm like slapping around shotgunners. Like, Bastion has never been the hardest gun to use, right? But it was significantly harder when a Felwinter's could kill you from almost 10 meters. Now that Felwinter's range has been dramatically cut down, like it is legitimately very, 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 very strong and very easy to use. So I would not be surprised to see Bastion's numbers skyrocket upwards. I would also not be surprised to see Chaperone's numbers once people actually put it in their hands and see that it basically has like ridiculous occluded finality aim assist around the head. Like
15-meter range,
and a 15-meter range. And when you get Roadborne active even further, like, guys, I know that you're scared of having to hit headshots. I know that terrifies a large majority of players in this game. But I promise you, it's not as hard as you would think to hit crits. This game is very, very easy. Please put Chaperone on and give it a whirl, and you'll see that it's pretty easy. And then the third thing I'm concerned about is freaking grenade launchers, man. Like, I've seen anecdotal. Yes.
That's going to be the next thing. I mean, I'm kind of in between on them. Like, I think a lot of players, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. There's going to be players that switch to a fusion. There are going to be players that switch to the breach grenade launchers. I've been seeing a good amount of them, man. I think eventually through community outcry, they're going to get nerfed. I do. Because I'll play around them. Once I know that they have them, like, okay, the red warlock's using the salvo. Like, I know how to play that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, once, and by the way, everybody that's listening, once you see the purple hunter or whoever it is using the salvo, play to him, because you know what they're trying to do. But people don't do that.
That's a pretty good transition into what I wanted to talk about next, of like we were already kind of talking about what is rising up, and Drew had a tweet about the DMT, which is the gun I wanted to talk about next, and he's like, "How's it feeling? Haven't heard anything, haven't touched it yet, whatever." I don't know about y'all. Cammy and I both, I do both controller M and K. Cammy straight up M and K. Cammy, have you used the DMT?
Not in my hands. I've only played against it.
Got it. Okay. I think that prediction is going to be the #1 weapon on trials on both Steam and PC this weekend. I don't know. That could be a magma hot take. I don't know how.
I'd bet money with you.
You bet money with me?
I would bet money. Yep.
Yeah, I would bet
PC?
money.
Yeah.
Based on what I've seen for footage, yeah, it's probably
between
gonna be-
that and
still
Messenger.
good. That and the Messenger. I would, yeah. On
Well, it's
on
gonna be Jav,
Steam,
right? It's gonna be
If
Javelin.
the map
It's gonna
is
be
Endless
Jav.
Veil. It's not going to be DMT.
We're voting
not
for it
gonna be
on
Endless
Twitter.
Veil.
They're letting us vote for the map right now. Jav 4 is a heavy favorite to win, which I have voted
It
for.
should be
already.
Endless Veil, but I mean, whatever.
Jav
Yeah.
4
We
is
get
good
some
map.
Halo maps in there, like.
Yeah, let's play on midship,
Sidewinder.
bro. Yeah. But yeah, it's very good. I know that Bungie deliberately nerfed DMT, one because it was very good, and two because they kind of knew that there would be maybe a power vacuum with 120s getting harmed. You can feel that it's a little different, that hip fire, like the damage change and the reduced aim assist, like it felt like, you know, when you have that muscle memory, you're like, oh, that would have been a headshot before, or whatever, that feeling. It's less generous, but the fact that you can still spam and hip fire, it's still, I can't remember, I think Astrocross was doing damage testing. I think he showed that the range at which you can achieve a full damage headshot is still like really far.
Are we talking over
and
40?
just-
40 meters.
So-
Yeah, it's where the old 120 ADS
so
fall-off used
good.
to be.
With
So-
that damage model.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
which is a
it-
faster rate of fire. So.
faster rate of fire. It's like it's
And
very
consequently,
good.
you can aim down sights on the first shot, then hip fire for follow-ups to get your 3-tap.
Good God. And again, with shotguns being hurt, it is a perfect weapon to pair with either the Truth Teller or the Salvo grenade launcher, which a lot of people were doing anyway. I don't know if, like, I would be very interested, to pay money to be a fly on the wall in the Bungie boardroom. Like, if they're talking about, should we hit DMT again before season 15? I want to be very clear that I'm talking mostly about PC and M&K play right now. Like, yeah, if I'm not worried about DMT popping off on console, because I was never really worried about that. I don't
It's
think
also
I,
not going
You're a
to.
good player
It's
if
not-
you're popping off with DMT.
yeah,
it's
it-
not going
it-
to,
it-
especially
it
after
just-
this most recent. Like,
yeah, it performs completely different
It's
on
not-
controller. Yeah, it's not. It's really just a concern for me for M&K. So shout out to everybody playing on PS5 and Xbox this weekend. Have a terrific weekend and a very fun meta.
you should be playing there anyways, right? If you're playing trials or something like that, so you can avoid the cheaters. Although I've heard rumors that Call of Duty maybe is now suffering from cheats that are able to be enacted
yeah.
on console. So I don't know how much longer we're going to be safe over here on Xbox, but
Our savior Stadia, sponsor me, please.
Cammy, high
Yeah.
five for Team Stadia, baby.
Yeah.
Woo! Cheat-free environment. Love it.
DMT is a different animal on Stadia because the crosshair turns red and you can see that garbage resolution.
It's a very interesting experience.
Let's
What's
hear
up,
it, cool
cool guy?
guy.
What I would like to see for that weapon, and I like to hear what you guys think here. I would like it to fully turn and hip fire, fully turn into 150 with its damage. I would like it to do 68 per head, and I would like it to have fall off at about 25 to 27 meters, but still have the cranial perk. Like if you're an ADS and pop someone, and as they come in and you're switching to hip fire, that's 68, now be like 75 or 80 or whatever the cranial goes up to. But I really do think that it should be reserved for 25 to 30 meters and in, but starting off that you need 3 headshots like it's a 150 RPM scout. That's what I would like to see.
just give it the last word treatment and kill it for mouse and keyboard so that nobody complains about it there, and continue to allow it to do what it does on console, which is kind of just exist, right? Like it doesn't overpower anyone on console.
Just exists.
My issue is that it's already so poorly used on console. If you do anything that negates that hip fire lethality on console, it goes straight to the bottom and it never gets used ever. So my thing is like, I know that they try to avoid doing this, but the Tex Mechanica guns just seem to deserve it. They already did it to the last word. Just kill it on mouse and keyboard, and everybody on mouse and keyboard is going to be happy, it seems, because all I hear is complaints about it. Like 90% of my timeline on any given day is complaining about DMT on mouse and keyboard. So just kill it there and let it continue to exist on console, and we'll call it a day. We'll all go home happy.
You know, I think sometimes people would clap back with, but power fantasy. But I'm pretty sure that if they clapped DMT really hard, I don't think even one tier would be shit.
Okay, if they hit DMT, like maybe half a tier for me, but like I'm holding the last frontier with Tommy's matchbook. Don't touch it.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't do it.
I wanted to give a whirl on that.
It's taken the spot. Like they just like I think that so far from what I've seen and played with, like I think at the end of next month, I think all the lobbies are going to be like messengers. I really do. And 140 hand cannons. But that DMT on PC is filling that role that they just got rid of for 140 or 120s overall. What they were doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
If 120s hadn't been nerfed, and they had nerfed DMT like this, it probably would have been like, okay, well now they're like pretty even kind of head to head in this thing. But because they just nerfed 120s, you're correct. There's a power vacuum there, and DMT
it got better.
DMT
DMT is better.
Even though it got nerfed, and got better.
It got nerfed, but the buff by proxy was so much higher than the nerf that like it's now technically still buffed, right? Like this shit happened to No Land Beyond and D1. Like No Land Beyond never got freaking buffed ever, but everything else got nerfed down around it, and then eventually someone was like, "Holy shit, this gun's really good," and then it dominated for like a rare window. It happened to Universal Remote. Buff by proxy is a real thing, and people always forget about when they talk about balance changes, but it's absolutely happened to DMT now. It happened to fusions. It happened to primaries. Like it happened to Messenger. I don't quite know that we're going to start seeing a Messenger meta. I wouldn't be upset. My favorite meta ever was the high impact pulse meta from D1, which lasted like 3 weeks, I think.
That was really short.
We had like a month before a release where it was like a high impact pulse rifle meta, and it felt like Halo to me.
What was that one pulse rifle? The blue one from D1 that everybody loved? Everybody and their mother?
Pilgrim?
Hopscotch Pilgrim, dude.
Dude, that one was so illegal.
What
it got
a throwback, dude.
There was the hopscotch, and there was
the messenger back then too.
The 5.58 All Fate.
There was the original dominant pulse rifle, the Red Death. You guys remember that? Red Death meta was huge.
You could, at that point in time, for those who don't remember, you could have barrel perks that would increase your damage.
Yeah, aggressive.
That was a wild time, dude. That was a wild time.
It would entirely change TTKs on guns.
Crazy.
It was the coolest shit ever. I loved it.
But if not Messenger, it's No Time, dude. I was using No Time. I had a Wii ran today using sun bracers.
No big deal.
Well, dude, I had like 8 solar grenade kills with my melee build. Like, I was having a blast. Like, and I couldn't have done that last week. No, there's no way.
Yeah, don't get my goddamn pulse rifles nerfed, man. This is gonna be the fucking worst. If I've been soldier not here with my meta in this shitty ass 120 ecosystem for the last fucking year, and I'm gonna get the messengers nerfed after like 1 week of them being good.
I'm enjoying this honeymoon period. I'm using Thorn and Necrotic Grip. I'm just tapping them once and cleaning up with the shotgun, and then watching them explode poison everywhere.
Classic, dude. Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to the weekend.
You guys use Mida?
I want to see what happens. No, it's another reason I want to have Drew here.
Dude,
Drew's already been leaning hard into Mida, like in the 120 meta. Like Drew has really only become more powerful after Tuesday.
Damn hipster.
He's goddamn hipster Drew.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Everything that Drew has built in the last 6 months has gotten stronger.
Yeah, with the exception of the Shadebinder Hunter, like everything, like every weapon.
No, that got an aspect, so it like improved his build. So they nerfed it, then he got it right back.
Goddamn hipster Canadian Drew with his ultimate power. Well, we'll have him weigh in next time. But yeah, if you're listening at home, let us know on Twitter how you feel. There's like a lot of changes going on, some good. I mean, probably most good, depending on how you look at it. But let us know what weapons you're enjoying. Let us know if you're enjoying PvP overall. Tell us your thoughts. Last thing I wanted to talk about regarding weapons, for the time being. We got those Moon and Dreaming City weapons coming back. I think Merc, I see you shaking your head,
his head no.
immediately. Can't even finish the intro. Merc, she's shaking his head, bro. What do you got for me, buddy?
Well, why bring them back? Like I was looking at, so we're doing the Massive Breakdown podcast later this week, and we were talking like, this is cool. Like mid-season, we get new weapons to like break down, and we're like, look at the perk pools, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why? We're like, why though? I just, I don't know. I mean, this is 2 times kind of makes a pattern, right? But this is like multiple times now that they have brought back weapons that they could have brought them back with the same perk pool with some new perks added, and everybody would have been ecstatic. Yeah. But instead, they like took out a lot of the good roll options, and instead they've put in perks that like I have no desire to chase at all on these guns. And it's like that's kind of a huge bummer because I went from like really excited for new guns, reprised guns, to being like, oh great, so I literally need to chase nothing here.
Wait a minute, hold on, time out. Are you telling me you don't want a lead from gold osmosis tranquility sniper, Merc? Is that not on top of your god roll list for PvP?
Surprisingly not, you know.
Who needs snapshot, bro? No distractions? More like no skill, dude. Give me underdog tranquility, bro.
Yeah,
do free-to-play players get this? Do they get the moon weapons?
What? Do what?
Do free-to-play players get the moon weapons?
Ooh, good question. I don't know.
At least bring back air assault if you're gonna bring back perk. No.
Oh, God.
So like I've been keeping track of it, man. Like Bungie, if you haven't noticed, they're really getting away from damage dealing perks, right?
Oh yeah.
Almost everything could roll kill clip or rampage. Then it was multi kill clip, and they're sprinkled about. Loud Lullaby has kill clip, but you know we're seeing it with the left column now. Like there's good ones now. Like there's heating up, fantastic. There's tunnel vision. But they're taking away outlaw on a lot of things. They're taking away snapshot, and like both of those are combined. Like surplus is on everything, right? So I kind of wonder if that trend's going to continue. Like I think the left column's gotten a lot better, and the right column's gotten a lot worse.
Yeah, there's a fair amount in the left column that I'm feeling okay about on tranquility. You know, I got some decent stuff here. Like we got, I don't know. Surplus is kind of tight.
I have surplus. Eye of the Storm. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you can get a tranquility that feels like quick draw, I guess. But
yeah, it's pretty snappy.
Since the Nerf quick draw.
You get tunnel vision. Like feel maybe a little bit more accurate.
Anything I want out of that loot pool, it's the Loud Lullaby. That's the only one where I'm like, I could see 5 or 6 different one of these hand cannons that I can use.
The 2 for me, every waking moment can do. It can roll Killing Wind Elemental. So it can. Yeah, so that one, and then the fusion. The fusion's really interesting because a lot of people can't, because you can't get Glacioclasm. Merciless is an acquired taste, which by the way, use Merciless, it's still fantastic. But you know, you can't get the plug one. Say you can't do Nightfalls. Like there's this bounty farming you can do over and over and over. It has cornered, it has kickstart, it has a lot of good perks for a precision frame. I think that the true winners for me are going to be the Kill Clip Loud Lullaby, the Fusion, and that SMG. If you get lucky with the sniper, like for me, surplus, Eye of the Storm, like I'm calling it there. It doesn't have really good perk set.
I understand the strafe roll of the SMG, but I'm disappointed that rangefinder is there and its base zoom is 13.
I know.
Because range is tied to those submachine guns feeling so good.
Like 1 step forward, 2 back, like everything.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's right. It's a 10 or 15% increase, something like that. So the lower the base zoom, the lower the increase rangefinder does.
Yeah, that is true.
So it's like even worse of a perk.
It's 10%. Yeah, that's not good on a low. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Kim. I'm really feeling like change my mind. I only care about Kill Clip Lullaby right now. Pretty much the only thing I care about.
So we're pretty much in agreement. Yeah. So we're pretty much in agreement that the moon was a miss in terms of weapons.
Yeah, probably.
Dreaming City, on the other hand, I'm still chasing.
What are you looking for?
We got Retold Tale, Waking Vigil, the rocket launcher. So Retold Tale, precision shotgun, can get a lot of perks that are good for shotgunning, but I have my sights set on Surrounded. I feel like that will pop up more often than not. and give me one-hit kills that I otherwise never would have gotten.
Actually, you're probably right now that they've been hit that hard. And surrounded, I think you only need to be near, like, what, 2 people in PvP?
Within 15 meters of 3 people. So
3, not 2.
Yeah, 3 people.
Okay, that's a tall order.
But with surrounded spec, it just has to be for an instant, then you get a couple seconds.
And then you're right. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
That mod is broken right now. It doesn't work as intended. So when it gets fixed, surrounded is going to be a different animal.
That actually would be nice. So if you're fighting a team that is maybe playing way too tightly together in, like, I don't know, a 3v3 game mode, you go in, you just get it to activate the one time, and now you're on that long timer.
Yeah, that's that
extra
initial
damage.
kill, just flying at them.
Yeah, it's going to push out your one-hit kill range. Probably something I wouldn't have cared about before, but now that all the kill ranges on shotguns have been brought in, it's a pretty good point.
We're not talking a baby increase. This isn't your Rampage, your Swashbuckler single stack. It is like a 50% boost with that mod.
It's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it 12-meter kills.
12 meter on a retold tail?
It would not surprise me if it 12-meter kills with surrounded spec.
Wow, I'm betting like 8 or 9. 9 max. But either way, it would definitely be worth... It'd be worth it. You kind of get like unique activation on Fellwinter Jr., something like that.
Yeah, it's also an information perk, because if you see that proc, you're like,
yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh crap.
I'm about to get...
Yeah. I'm getting closed in on by 3 dudes. Anything else for the Dreaming City? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
what up,
I got one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of follow up with what we were talking about, the 120s and these new weapons that we're talking about. Another thing as far as builds, right? Like I said, I've been experimenting with the melee builds, having a really good time. But what I noticed too, and you kind of, don't even really think about it. Going back to using these pulses, and I know there's some people listening like, dude, I use them every day. But the hand cannons, like all those mods, taking 4 energy, 5 energy, going down to pulses and scouts that take 2 energy for a loader, like it opens up your builds, man. You can do a lot more, adding ashes to assets and a whole bunch of different things. So
it's actually another reason I'm worried about the rise of DMT grenade launcher this weekend, because like I go back to the grenade, I'm like, oh, grenade launcher scavenger is 1, like grenade launcher dexterity is 1.
Yeah, I'm
scout
targeting like 2 or
loaders.
3.
Yeah, scout loaders are 1 right now too.
Yeah, it's a very efficient armor build for changing off of hand cannon shoddy.
Last Streaming City weapon.
Okay, do it.
I know everyone's gonna clown on it when I say Waking Vigil, but think for a second. What do people do when a super is about to pop? They switch to their Vorpal DMT, right? And so for the Palindrome, Waking Vigil is your Vorpal weapon DMT. It can have rangefinder and Vorpal weapon. So yes, you're losing out on your Palindrome distance, but you can truck a super if it pops on you.
It's not a bad idea.
Remember
That's what I'm chasing.
We were playing Stadia, and it was the Behemoth meta, and we all switched to like Vorpal. It was like a high impact scout. No, it was Stars and Shadow. We all had Stars and Shadow. We clipped every one of those Behemoths, dude. We just stood in the back and just melted.
Pretty funny.
Yo, I remember Outbreak Perfected too. That's a new monster in this meta.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
We'd hear the little siren go off, like, all right, they're nanited, go, go, go.
Let's do that again soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Loot permitting, I'll be around this weekend, dude. All right, let's move on to community questions. Actually, with a fair amount of time remaining. Good. GG Nuri. Here's one from Lely. Real sweetheart from my community. What are you most likely wanting to see and or hear in the upcoming D2 stream on August 24th? If you're not aware, Bungie kind of teased a thing on the Twitter today about an upcoming stream on August 24th. I think with what the old Witch Queen logo there, the old Savathun, something like that.
So the slogan is like "Survive the Truth," right? My theory is that the truth is going to be that the game becomes PvP focused only. There's no new raids. There's just 17 new PvP maps. There's Rift being brought back, Capture the Flag. They're revamping trials, revamping the comp system. And the Survive the Truth is basically the fact that you have to go for one entire season of it just being PvP and nothing else.
Oh, I thought that I thought that Bungie was going to be like, we're taking away the light because the truth is that we don't need the light. All we need is our own immune system, and that any type of vaccine or shot like that is just harmful for your guardian. Survive the truth, bro.
The light's strong, but it's not as strong as family.
Are you
Corona.
saying? Yeah.
God damn, dude.
Corona.
I couldn't finish that joke without
I literally have a
laughing.
Corona in my hand.
It was
Firing
mad funny.
Range sponsored by Fast and the Furious 9.
All right, Vin Diesel comes out. Get ready to survive the truth about family.
Gaul kicks your guardian off the tower. He catches him with the car.
Yeah.
I got you.
Goddamn, fucking Bungie comes out to reveal that all of planet Earth is flat in the D2 universe, and that we're a bunch of sheeple. Survive the truth, bro. The Traveler's been lying to you.
I'm just hoping
Sabbath
that
in is QAnon.
I'm just hoping that there's like a fleeing clip of what they're gonna show us of the Cloud Strike Catalyst in action. You know?
Yeah.
Bungie, make a Cloud Strike Catalyst, please.
Is it that
You
it
can't
doesn't just
survive the
do
truth.
it doesn't just do lightning now? There's like a massive thunderclap and it deafens everyone who has a headset on when it strikes down around them, like real lightning landing next to them.
It concusses everyone, stops them mid sprint.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope actually. If it had the concussive
You're
grenade
after,
effect on
right?
them. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So
I'm trying to think
message,
of how far I can push the
you
joke
can't
here.
survive the truth or something like that. All right. So it's going to be a collab with Halo Infinite where you unlock cosmetics for
Yes.
Destiny PvP. Climb the
No,
rank ladder. Get your Redrick's Broadsword 3.0.
and survive the truth. Everyone's guns get replaced with just truth, and that's the only gun you get to use.
That's D1 power ammo right there.
Every hunter gets their dodge ability forcefully bumped up to a 3-minute cooldown. Survive the truth, dude. You're not good at PvP. You just have a free get out of jail free card for bad positioning. Survive the truth, baby.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're gonna
so
add
now-
they're gonna add vehicles. Like an anomaly.
Yeah, exactly. That happened once on that Mars map with the sparrows.
You log on to the game and it says movement isn't the skill gap you think it is. That's it. That's the whole season.
Survive the truth. Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm sure Bungie is gonna show, some cool stuff about the Witch Queen. I'm hype. Whatever they show
I'm
me,
hype.
I'm looking forward to it.
Real answer, I don't even look at the trailers anymore because it's always going to be more Destiny. They have to essentially put something that shows some replayability for me. They have to say the text, revamping Gambit, adding Forge mode, theater mode, etc. Like that kind of stuff right there is the stuff that gets me excited, not a new strike to play. I guess dungeons I do like though, raids I do like, but
Dungeons are cool, yeah.
Dungeons are pretty
usually
fun.
that's like what they tease in there. It's the seasonal weapon and like a strike layout or something too in the background.
Oh. If you're listening at home and you didn't know, we record the show every other Wednesday live on Twitch, and I just got to give a shout out. The Twitch chat is pretty darn funny. Survive the truth. The entire game becomes Gambit focused. That's Survive the truth, bro.
Just
Gambit
stand
is
in
the
there.
best game mode. Survive the truth. All right, moving on.
Step aboard the derelict, brother.
Hey, you're dredging. All right, here's one from Captain Hugman. And do you also feel Behemoth got, quote, Nova warped with all the previous nerfs? That's a funny phrase. Now taking in the Shiver Strike nerf that was supposedly only supposed to affect PvP, and Insta-freeze on cast being removed in PvP. What do you guys feel? Do you feel like Behemoth got Nova warped? Did it
No,
get
Not-
I
shrewded?
don't think it got Nova warped.
I don't think it did either. No.
Not the worst
I still think
subclass
it's-
in the game. Nova Warp went from being the best subclass in the game to the worst subclass in the game
It
overnight.
did. Yeah.
Behemoth
Yeah, it
isn't the
did.
worst subclass in the game. Nova Warp still exists.
Bro, I see so many streamers
Dawn, dude,
complaining
and
about
I will-
Behemoth right now.
Yeah. You still think it's pretty good, don't you? Cammy, Behemoth
No,
being...
Behemoth. I feel like I'm forced to play it because when I'm having a hot streak and playing a lot of PvP,
Mhm.
I end up just getting aggro in this whole lobby, and I see them pop supers when I'm one primary shot into them. And that happens the whole game. I will end a game with 12 to 16 supers popped on me, and so it makes me say, "Why am I on Warlock? I should just be on Behemoth so I can kill all these supers."
Oh, God.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
Pop
I
your
don't
overshield, get your
feel-
resist, warp a weapon, I'm down. Like you like, come on, bring the super. Go ahead, super me.
Fair answer. I would feel like, yeah, it didn't get Nova warped. Nova warped literally went from top dog to like runt of the litter, like in in one day. But yeah, I get that some people are
The worst is
salty
Blade
about
Barrage,
it.
by the way.
Blade Barrage
Yeah.
is bad.
Oh,
That
yeah.
whole class.
I think
is
Blade
laughably
Barrage
bad.
like went from one of the best meta to the literal worst.
It's
Yeah.
straight hit or
And
miss. It's either
and it
wipes
totally
the whole
didn't need
team
it.
or misses someone, one
And
person.
it totally didn't need it either, too. It wasn't like Blade Barrage was
Shards of
so
Galanor
game-
needed it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they
maybe
instead they
that.
ruined the entire subclass to nerf Shards of Galanor.
I think maybe one Bungie dev got solo Blade Barrage in like quick play maybe one too many times. Like, oh nice, I got kill clip. Time to go around the corner and get that clip I've been waiting for. Someone just solo pops Blade Barrage. It's like, that's it.
The
Nerf
first
the whole
time I
goddamn
died to that
class.
in the bubble, I was like stunned. I said, wait, it not only broke the bubble, but it killed
me
us
too.
and the other people behind the other wall.
It was really good.
It was Chaos Reach before it was Chaos Reach, if that makes sense.
Yep.
The OG Chaos Reach, yeah. Okay, here's one. A question from Aiden. Genuine opinions on Telesto. I always see the ironic mentioning, but then when I ask for serious opinion, it's always a very mixed bag. What do you guys feel honestly about
great.
Telesto? I think it's fine, yeah.
It's great.
Telesto has great strengths and it also has great, weaknesses that kind of go along with it. So it's similar to Jotun in that there's a particular play style that you can play with it that's super frustrating to play against and really, really strong. But good players, you're only going to kill a good player with it once, right? And then they're going to know that you're using Telesto and they're going to play to counter it. So it's pretty limited, I think, at super high levels. But that's why most of the game is 6v6. Take it into Iron Banner and have fun with it.
It's a fun weapon. I enjoy it. I don't think if anyone ever told me that they thought it would be like it's too strong of a gun, I'd like look at them weirdly. But like, because as long as it has that delay, right?
In shotgun Nerf land, I mean, it has even more utility.
It'll be even better now. I still don't think it'll ever be top tier because the fact that there's a delay on the shots landing on you and then the barbs going boom. Like you have so much time to react and trade and, and whatever. It's the biggest drawback of Telesto. I think it's exactly kind of where it needs to be. And every time it breaks the game, like I smile all day because it is very funny to me that this gun has like been the thorn in many a dev paw for a long time. Yeah.
Maybe that's the truth. They're like, you can't survive the truth. Telesto removed from game.
Now that I wouldn't be able to survive. Here we go.
Was the last wish.
The 15th wish is that Telesto becomes god tier. Here's a question from Hobo Fett. Great name. Thoughts on the future special ammo economy nerf? Anybody?
If
Come
they're
on,
gonna
Mike, I
do
know you
crates,
got something to
it
say.
needs to be in good locations. If they're gonna do
what
crates,
we think will happen.
There's no way they're gonna go back to the crate system. I would love it if they did. I want to make that very
that's
clear.
why I'm saying it on the record. If they're doing crates, it has to be in proper locations. It can't be in the spawn.
No. Yeah. I think it's funny that like sometimes we go full circle. I really liked the crate system. I thought it was cool. It reminded me of Halo where you have to like work to achieve map control. You got to work to achieve weapon control. Like the team that is rolling, they're controlling the map. They're controlling the crates.
So the
If you're
viewers at
listening,
home
we
don't
don't-
know we had
yeah.
like a behind the scenes argument on this topic, right? But
Oh,
it
yeah.
eventually boiled down to, wait, you're not talking about the old crate system. You're talking about a good crate system. That's entirely different. A good crate system cares about
Right.
the location. The old
There you
crate
go.
system was just bad.
You have special ammo in your spawn. So
Yeah, you don't
What's
leave
the
spawn.
point? It's right there.
Exactly.
You spawn.
It
It's right
just
there.
slows the game down. That's all
Yeah,
it does.
I think it could work and be very good for the game. I think that a lot of players would go kicking and screaming into a crate meta because like a lot of people I love spawning into the game and just having ammo for whatever weapon I'm trolling the other team with, right? But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do know I'm getting way too far off topic here. I do think that unless it's a crazy nerf, I think probably whatever they come up with will be good because like right now I am like, if you want to build your Guardian in the right way, you are tripping over green ammo in PvP, man, to the point where like I knew a lot of people, even in Trials, which is a 3v3 elimination game mode, they're going in with double special and being fine. Like, that's insane to me that you're going into PvP with double special and you can make that build work. It's crazy town talk to me. So again, unless they completely suck the meta dry, like way over nerf it, which I don't think they will, knock on wood. But I don't know. Right now, I just know that there's a lot of ammo.
I'm just a player, right? But like, because you're asking what we would do, right? Like, I think the first step to it is making the I guess it's the decay or just the timer about 7-8 seconds. It's 28 or 30 right now that the brick's going to be on the ground. I think the first step is you need to make it 5 to 10 seconds because I think it's going to drop. It's going to be bad for sniper players, but then again, you're far away sniping. You need to go get your ammo. Really good for shotgun players, but still, it's just like you said, you're not going to be tripping over it. It's going to despawn.
Yeah. Merc, you've been shockingly quiet.
I can't really talk about.
What do you mean you can't? You can't talk about it? What?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I understand.
Is it? Nah, it's fine. Spotlight on Merc, real quick.
I can answer another question.
Dim your cameras. Yeah. All right, we'll move on. All right. Here's one from Low Peasy. Do you guys think that the sandbox is currently being held back by having to support players on older consoles? And if so, at what point do you think Bungie will need to cut ties with last-gen consoles to allow them to expand the game toward their vision?
Can't cut ties with last-gen consoles until people could buy current-gen consoles, which right now is...
Interesting point.
Yeah, which is almost impossibly rare. Yeah. And also,
like, the answer is obviously
back?
Yeah, it's held back,
of course
but
it's held back,
also benefiting the population. So it
like,
depends on how your definition of hold back is.
That's a good point, Cammy.
You got what, like 10% of the population on next gen consoles? You want to cut 90% of players who are playing on consoles out of the game? It's a leading question. I know it is, and I don't know that he necessarily meant it to be that way. But the fact of the matter is, like, until I can walk down to the store and buy a Series X, which I cannot do right now, you cannot cut previous gen consoles or even consider doing it. And you probably have to go a year past that date before you can even think about doing it. So
that's the realistic answer. The other answer would be just trying to just elaborate and say, well, aren't new gen holding back 2080 Ti's? Aren't 2080 Ti's holding back 3080 Ti's and so forth?
Like, bro, like, they just shut down the Max Payne servers for PS3. Like, they hold on to it for a long time, man. Like, I don't think that... Even if they wanted to, I just don't think that they would.
Yeah, that's fair. And again, there's like a lot of people playing on the... Yeah, it's kind of a little... What's the term? Catch-22? Double-edged sword? I don't know. Yeah, we don't want anything holding back the growth of D2. We want it to grow and flourish and be great. And not be held back by technical limitations. But we got a lot of community back there, man. Like, a lot of community.
You know how MCC lets you pick, like, Halo 1, 2, 3 in the game mode matchmaking?
Oh, yeah.
What if Destiny 1 lets you pick a patch? It's like House of Wolves patch, etc., and you could play that.
Pick a patch.
Destiny collection, that kind of thing. Like, I'm just saying, Bungie, we want free money.
Until we get crossplay, you would fragment the player base into a million tiny pieces. I'd be one of 6 people playing in the high impact pulse rifle meta from D1. And then you'd have a bunch of sweats in the Thorn last.
Well, you vote on it. You vote on it at the start. It's like,
so
House
of
Wolves.
Oh my god, yeah, that's crazy.
Double, what is it? The sidearm meta never gets voted on.
No, God.
Yeah, there's certain things that would never get voted on. I'm trying to vote for the April 2019 meta. No one's picking it. Damn it. Reddit thread.
I want sidearm fusion nades. That's what I want to play with the entire time.
Can't help that there's no players in the Wormwood meta. I mean...
Oh god, classic. Good stuff. You know what? I think that's a good place to wind it down. I think we talked about, unless there's anything that y'all really want to maybe flesh out or elaborate on. I know that there's more in the future we can talk about. We got to get Drew back here, man. I know he's busy today, but I need to drag him in here. We got to talk about Lord of Wolves. We got to talk about, what the hell else were we talking about? What was the other thing? There was 2 things we wanted to talk to Drew about. Lord of Wolves and what else?
Mida.
Mida multi-tool.
You know, I don't think we mentioned cones a single time without him here.
Wow, we didn't. You're right. That's
We had a couple
sad.
opportunities. Too.
We did with the
have
shotgun.
opportunities. Yeah,
We
talked
did. No,
about shotgun angle.
We did with the
yeah,
aggressive shotguns.
Yeah, we
did.
might have talked about it, but like, yeah, it's not the same.
We said spread with the shotguns.
Oh,
not
did we?
cones. Yeah, we said
Oh
spread.
God,
Yeah.
we've wronged him, dude. Drew, you got to come back on, dude. We got to talk about it, man. But in the meantime, we really appreciate y'all joining us. Let us know on Twitter how you feel about the current meta. Feel good about it? Do you feel bad about it? Give me your predictions on hashtag. What was it? Survive the truth. What is it? I don't know. Tell me all about it. I want to hear about it, dude. But we appreciate all of you for listening in. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Before we end the show, we're going to go around the room and have everybody tell you where you can find us. Cammy, where can the people at home find you?
On Phantasy Star Online too. But real answer, twitter.com/CammyKicksYT, twitch.tv/CammyKicks. Go on.
Good call. Cool guy, where can they find you?
Twitter and YouTube, Cool Guy Games, and then Twitch is going to be I Am Cool Guy Games.
Merc, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter, Mercules904, and on the Destiny Massive Breakdowns podcast as well, which I'm recording actually literally the second I get off of that. I'm hopping onto that. So
Good call. Listen in. And he's not here, but Drew is what? YouTube.com/Drew. Is it
Drewski's channel.
Drewski's channel?
I want to double check that.
Double check it. Just Google Drewski's channel, and then for Twitch, it's Drewskis with the S on the end, right?
It is Drewski's channel on YouTube and Drewski's with an S at the end on Twitch.
Beautiful. And I'm Fallout. You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/FalloutPlays and twitch.tv/FalloutPlays. We appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
Raid Watts.
And Audacity is cut, but we are still live on Twitch. Aries said he's got somebody that he wants to raid. I'm being ignored. Rip. It's a podcast, dude. It's
episode 30.
And we need new PvP. I agree that we need PvP maps. We don't work for Bungie. Episode 30. Aries, who is Megs? Do we know who that is? Oh wait, I think I know who Megs is. I think I know who that is.
Megs is
Yeah. Good call. Okay, yeah, we'll raid Megs. She cool. All right, let's do.
The podcast is on everything. Someone asked that on Twitch. It's literally on everything. Just look
it's literally everywhere,
podcast.
bro.
Yeah.
It's literally everywhere. Go check out Megs. She's really cool. I like her.
Anyone who
a lot.
came from my video, thank you. I have not seen Twitch chat this entire stream.
We love our Twitch chat. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great rest of your day, and please see you next time. Yeah, go ahead, dear.
Are we no longer live now?
Hold on, I'm clicking the raid button, and